Respected colleagues, I have examined and approved the course and proceedings of Wednesday, 30th November 2022. Any member who has a petition to present communication from the President, Federal Republic of Nigeria. Transmission of the FCT 2023 statutory budget proposal. Pursuant to Section 121 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended, I forward herewith the Federal Capital Territory 2023 statutory budget proposal for the kind consideration of the House of Representatives. In the preparation of the Federal Capital Territories 2023 statutory budget proposal, the Federal Capital Territory administrations align with the federal government laudable physical development policies. Accordingly, the FCT 2023 budget proposal prioritizes improvement in healthcare services, job creation, youth empowerment, social welfare services, education, and increased productivity in agriculture in order to lift significant number of our citizens out of poverty, while hoping that the submission will receive the usual expeditious consideration of the House. Please accept, Right Honorable Speaker, the assurance of my highest consideration. Yours sincerely, Muhammad Buhari, signed. Any member who has a petition to present to the House may please rise to do so. No petition? Respected colleagues, the business of the day is presentation of 7 bills. I now invite the clerk to read their short titles.
Right Honorable Speaker, honorable members. Federal University of Medicine and Medical Sciences, Egbe, Kogi State, Establishment Bill 2022, first reading. Court of Appeal Act Amendment Bill 2022, first reading. Federal Polytechnic, Cabo, Establishment Bill 2022, first reading. Federal University of Health Sciences, Azare, Bauchi State, Establishment Bill 2019, first reading. Federal College of Education, Jama'ari, Bauchi State, Establishment Bill 2022, first reading. Medical and Dental Practitioners Act Amendment Bill 2022, first reading. Nursing and Midwifery Registration ETC Act Amendment Bill 2022, first reading.
Respected colleagues, would I say congratulations to the family of APC, because it's like we do not have opposition in the House today. Have they all decamped? You are here. Yes, you cannot take your chair. Thank you. I think Bello, we should all appreciate and applaud and appreciate our God for the good work he has done to us, that we are beginning to see the sign, the good sign ahead. Thank you. Respected colleagues, the first order of the day is the third reading of the bill for an act to establish the Nigerian Correctional Service Trust Fund and for related matters, standing in the name of the House Leader. All members will recall that the House adopted the report of the Committee of the Whole on the bill on Thursday, 24th November 2022. I therefore call on the Leader of the House to move that the bill be read the third time.
Which was the bill? Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, my honorable colleagues. I am Abubakar Maki Eleman. I'm from Jigawa State. I represent Malamuru Kaugama Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I stand to raise a bill for an act to establish Nigerian Correctional Service Trust Fund and for related matters, HB 1722, be read for the third time. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Seconder. Yes. My brother from Kogi, Halims.
Colleagues, I am Honorable Abdullah Ibrahim Halims. I'm from Kogi State, one of the safest states in this country today. I stand to second the motion as ably moved by our small majority leader. Thank you, sir.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Against say nay. The ayes have it. Clerk is invited to read the rotative of the bill.
Right Honorable Speaker, honorable members, a bill for an act to establish Nigeria Correctional Service Trust Fund and for related matters. Third reading.
Bill read the third time and passed. The second order of the day is the third reading of the bill for an act to amend the Federal University of Petroleum Resources Ifurum Act and for related matters, standing in the name of the House Leader. All members will recall that the House adopted the report of the Committee of the Whole on the bill on Tuesday, 29 November 2022, and I therefore call on the Leader of the House to move that the bill be read the third time.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, my honorable colleagues. I stand to move a bill for an act to amend the Federal University of Petroleum Resource Forum Act and for related matters, HB 613, be read for the third time. I so move, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Halfway opposition. Yes, sir.
I'm Honorable Mohammed Bargaja, member representing East Assembly Federal Constituency from Sokoto State. I raise to second the bill ably moved by acting minority for today. And I'm now that's the problem. I'm the acting minority leader for today. I so second, Honorable Speaker. Thank you.
Honorable Bagarja, I see you should not make that mistake again, because it's a very costly mistake. Thank you. This side is for the winning team. Thank you. Those in favor that the bill be read the third time, say aye. Against, say nay. The ayes have it. Clerk is invited to read the long title of the bill.
Right Honorable Speaker, honorable members, a bill for an act to amend the Federal University of Petroleum Resources Ifurum Act and for related matters. Third reading.
Bill read the third time and passed. Distinguished respected colleagues, the third order of the day is the third reading of the bill for an act to repeal the National Secondary Education Commission ETC Act Cap N73 Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004 and enact the National Senior Secondary Education Commission Bill to prescribe minimum standards for senior secondary education in Nigeria, manage the National Senior Secondary Education Commission Fund, and for related matters, standing in the name of the House Leader. All members will recall the House adopted the report of the Committee of the Whole on the bill on Tuesday, 29 November 2022. I therefore call on the Leader of the House to move that the bill be read the third time.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My honorable colleagues, I stand to move a bill for an act to repeal the National Secondary Education Commission ETC Act Cap N73 Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004 and enact the National Senior Secondary Education Commission Bill to prescribe minimum standard for senior secondary education in Nigeria, manage the National Senior Secondary Education Commission Fund, and for related matters, HB 1940 read for the third time. I so move, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Seconder. Yes, sir. Sir Johnson, I think you can sit to the. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, I rise to second the bill. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues. My name is Abdul Ghani Johnson. I represent the good people of Osho.
Honorable Nkole, go back to your seat. Honorable Nkole, please.
You know,
I thought today you are acting leader. You want to come back?
I rise to second the bill ably moved by the leader of the House. I so second.
Respected colleagues, those in favor of the motion that the bill is read third time, say aye. Against, say nay. The ayes have it. Colleagues, I will still please plead with you that this particular temporary provision for our sitting is not as insulative in terms of sound proof like our own chambers. So the little conversation you would do, which is our normal legislation in terms of conversing for support, will not allow us to hear ourselves. So I would beg that we talk in the lowest tone, or we, as much as possible, avoid that, so that we'll be able to hear ourselves. And we should not forget that we are on live streaming. John Day, I want to beg. I'm still making the same comment about our own voice and voices in space.
Sit down, please.
Sir Obonta.
Obonta.
Kindly take a seat, please.
Ian Zazo, please take your seat.
It's not Ian Zazo. Ian Zazo wouldn't do that. He's not the one. Thank you. Respected colleagues, I now invite the clerk to read the long title of the bill.
Right, Honorable Speaker, honorable members. A bill for an act.
Honorable Nkoli, please go to your seat. Find a seat and sit down.
Cap N73 laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004 and enact the National Senior Secondary Education Commission Bill to prescribe minimum standards of senior secondary education in Nigeria, manage the National Senior Secondary Education Commission Fund, and for related matters. Third reading.
Bill read the third time and pass. Respected colleagues, the fourth order of the day is the third reading of the bill for an act to establish Federal College of Agriculture, ABI, Cross River State, to provide full-time courses leading to the award of diploma, higher national diploma in agriculture and allied fields, and be responsible for the administration of the college and for legal matters, standing in the name of the House leader. Honorable members would call that the House adopted the report of the Committee of the Whole on the bill on Wednesday, 30 November 2022. I therefore call on the leader of the House to move that the bill be read the third time.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My honorable colleagues, I stand to move for a bill to an act establish Federal College of Agriculture, ABI, Cross River State, to provide full-time courses leading to the award of diploma, higher national diploma in agriculture and allied fields, and be responsible for the administration of the college and for the related matters. HB 1629 be read for the third time. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Second, Honorable Ali.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Respected colleagues, Ari Mohammed Abdul Mumin, I represent Nusra Toto Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the bill. Every move by the leader, I so second.
Those in favor of the motion, say aye. Against, say nay. The ayes have it. Clerks invited to read the long title of the bill.
Right, Honorable Speaker, honorable members. A bill for an act to establish Federal College of Agriculture, ABI, Cross River State, provide full-time courses leading to the award of diploma, higher national diploma in agriculture and allied fields, and be responsible for the due administration of the college and for related matters. Third reading.
Bill read the third time and passed. Respected colleagues, the fifth order of the day is the third reading of the bill for an act to provide for the establishment of Federal Polytechnic in Yak, Shandam, Plateau State, and for related matters. Standing in the name of the House Leader, honourable members will call the House adopted the report of the Committee of the Whole on Wednesday, 30 November 2022. I therefore call on the Leader of the House to move that the bill be read the third time.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My honorable colleagues, I stand to move a bill for an act to provide for establishment of Federal Polytechnic in Yang, Shandam, Plateau State, and for related matters, HB 1897, be read for the third time. I so move, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Seconder. Yes, sir. Deputy Chairman, Women Affairs.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, respected colleagues. I remain Honorable Barrister Vincent Ekene Delichukwu Ofumelu, Honorable Member representing the marginalized people of Oyi, and I am a federal constituency. I am from Anambra State, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise this afternoon to second the motion as moved by my friend and my colleague. I so second, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, honorable colleagues.
Respected colleagues, those in favor that the bill be read third time say aye. Against say nay. The ayes have it. Clerk is invited to read the long title of the bill.
Right, Honorable Speaker, honorable members, a bill for an act provide for establishment of Federal Polytechnic in Yak, Shandam, Plateau State, and for related matters. Third reading.
Bill read the third time and pass. Colleagues, the sixth order of the day is the third reading of the bill for an act to establish Federal College of Education, Dengi, Plateau State, and for related matters. Standing in the name of the House Leader, honourable members will record the House adopted the report of the Committee of the Whole on the bill on Wednesday, 30 November 2022. I therefore call on the Leader of the House to move that the bill be read the third time.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My honorable colleagues, I stand to move a bill an act to establish Federal College of Education, Dengim, Plateau State, and for related matters, HB 1871, be read for the third time. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Seconder, yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. I remain Honorable Ibrahim Umar Pochuskum. I represent Nigeria Pochuskum Federal Constituency, Yobe State. I rise to second the motion ably moved by my leader. I so second, sir.
Those in favor that the bill be read the third time say aye. Against say nay. The ayes have it. Clerk is invited to read the long title of the bill.
Right, Honorable Speaker, honorable members, a bill for an act to establish Federal College of Education, Dengi, Plateau State, and for related matters. Third reading.
Read the third time and pass. The seventh order of the day is the third reading of the bill for an act to establish Federal Polytechnic in Rano, Kano State, to provide full and part-time courses in different fields of study and for related matters. Standing in the name of the House Leader, honourable members will recall that the House adopted the report of the Committee of the Whole on the bill on Wednesday, 30 November 2022. I therefore call on the Leader of the House to move that the bill be read the third time.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My honorable colleagues, I stand to move a bill for an act to establish Federal Polytechnic, Rano, Kano State, to provide full and part-time courses in different fields of study and for related matters, HB 929, read for the third time. I so move, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Yes, Acting Whip.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I am Lawan Shatima Ali, representing Bursari Gaidemi Nusari Federal Constituency. I'm from Yobe State. I rise to second the motion heavily moved by the acting leader. I so support, sir.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Against say nay. The ayes have it. Clerk is invited to read the long title of the bill.
Right, Honorable Speaker, honorable members, a bill for an act to establish Federal Polytechnic, Rano, Kano State, to provide for full and part-time courses in different fields of study and for related matters. Third reading.
Bill read the third time and passed. The eighth order of the day is the third reading of the bill for an act to provide for the establishment of Federal College of Nursing, Midwifery and Health Sciences, Chibok, Borno State, and for related matters, standing in the name of the House leader. Honourable members will recall that the House adopted the report of the Committee of the Whole on the bill on Wednesday, 30th November 2022. I therefore call on the leader of the House to move that the bill be read a third time.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My honorable colleagues, I stand to move a bill for an act to provide establishment of Federal College of Nursing, Midwifery and Health Services, Chibok, Borno State, and for related matters, HB 1747, be read for the third time. I so move, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Gimbe Duku.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, my highly respected colleagues. I'm Honorable Aisha Jibril Duku, Gimbier Duku, member representing Dukuna for the Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the motion, ably moved by the leader. I so second. Acting leader.
Those in favor that the bill be read a third time say aye. Against say nay. The ayes have it. Clerk is invited to read the long title of the bill.
Right Honorable Speaker, honorable members, a bill for an act to provide for establishment of Federal College of Nursing, Midwifery and Health Sciences, Chibok, Borno State, and for related matters. Third reading.
Respected colleagues, bill read the third time and passed. The ninth order of the day is the third reading of the bill for an act to establish Federal Medical Center, Goza, Borno State, and for related matters, standing in the name of the House leader. Honourable members will recall that the House adopted the report of the Committee of the Whole on the bill on Wednesday, 30th November 2022. I therefore call on the leader of the House to move that the bill be now read the third time.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My honorable colleagues, I stand to move a bill for an act to establish Federal Medical Center, Gwaza, Borno State, and for the related matters, HB 1746, be read for the third time. I so move, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Honorable Goni.
Colleagues, my name is Honorable Muhammad Adam Al-Qadi, Basajos North Federal Constituency. I rise to second the motion heavily moved by acting leader. I so second.
Respected colleagues, those in favor that the bill be read third time say aye. Against say nay. The ayes have it. Clerk is invited to read the long title of the bill.
Right Honorable Speaker, honorable members, a bill for an act to establish Federal Medical Center, Goza, Borno State, and for related matters. Third reading.
Bill read the third time and passed. Respected colleagues, the 10th order of the day is the third reading of the bill for an act to provide for the establishment of Federal Medical Center, Okigwe, Imo State, and for related matters, standing in the name of the House leader. All members will recall that the House adopted the report of the Committee of the Whole on Wednesday, 30th November 2022. I therefore call on the leader of the House to move that the bill be read a third time.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My honorable colleagues, I stand to move a bill for an act to provide for establishment of Federal Medical Center, Okwege, Imo State, and for related matters, HB 1613, be read for the third time. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Shetima. Okay, I don't know whether I didn't say acting leader.
Acting chief whip.
I didn't say acting chief whip, but I said Shetima.
Yes, sir.
Behind you.
I wonder. You are duplicate now. When there is a Shetima in this house, I'm the only one, sir. Let him agree that he's...
Well, I think he accepted that position a long time ago.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleague, Jafar Muhammad Shatima Bargu is my name, the original Shatima of Nigeria. I rise to second. I represent Bargu Agora constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Niger State. I rise to second a bill happily moved by my acting leader, Honorable Maki. I so second.
Well, Honorable Shatima, I dissociate myself for your last comment that you are Shetima Obondo and that you are original Shetima.
No, okay. They are our loyalists.
Thank you. Those in favor that the bill be read that time say aye. Against say nay. That's it. Clerks is invited to read the long title of the bill.
Right Honorable Speaker, honorable members, a bill for an act provide for establishment of Federal Medical Center, Okigi, Imo State, and for related matters. Third reading.
Bill read the third time and pass. Respected colleagues, the 11th order of the day is the third reading of a bill for an act to provide for the establishment of Chartered Institute of Power Engineers of Nigeria to regulate, control, and determine the standards of knowledge to be attained by people seeking to become chartered power engineers and following matters. Standing in the name of the House Leader, all members will call that the House adopted the report of the Committee of the Whole on the bill on Wednesday, 30 November 2022. I therefore call on the Leader of the House to move that the bill be read a third time.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, my honorable colleagues. I stand to move for a bill to an act for establishment of Chartered Institute of Power Engineers of Nigeria to regulate, control, and determine the standard of knowledge to be attained by people seeking to become chartered power engineers and for related matters, HB 1086, be read for the third time. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Enna.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Okudele Christopher, that's the one who is my name. I speak for Orumba North, Orumba South, Federal Constituency from Anambra State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to support the bill raised by the acting leader, Maki. I so second. Thank you.
Respected colleagues, those in favor that the bill be read that time say aye. Against say nay. That's have it. Clerk is invited to read the long title of the bill.
Right Honorable Speaker, honorable members, a bill for an act provide for establishment of Chartered Institute of Power Engineers of Nigeria to regulate, control, and determine the standards of knowledge to be attained by people seeking to become chartered power engineers and for related matters. Third reading.
Bill read the third time and passed. Respected colleagues, the 12th order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principle of a bill for an act to establish Federal College of Education, Indo, Iked, Akwa Ibom State, to provide full-time courses, teaching, instructions, and training in technology, applied sciences, art, social sciences, humanities, and management and for related matters, standing in the name of Honorable Peter, a partisan. Honorable members will recall that the bill was read the first time on Tuesday, 11 October 2022. I therefore invite Honorable partisan to move that the bill be read the second time.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, Honorable Peter Patterson is voting on the floor. I move that the second reading of this bill be stepped down by the leader of the House. I so move.
Second reading of the bill stepped down by the leader of the House. I think you have the same function to do with the second one. The 13th order of the day is the commencement of debate on the general principle of a bill for an act to amend the Child Right Act Cap C50 Laws of Nigeria 2004 to impose sanction on any parent who abandoned a newborn child, abscond after birth, and for this matter, standing in the name of Honorable Sergeant Ose Ogun. Honorable members will recall that the bill was read the first time on Wednesday, 14 July 2022. I now invite Honorable Ogun to move that the bill be read the second time.
Mr. Speaker, Honorable Sergius is not on the floor. I move that second reading of this bill be stepped down by the leader of the House. Ditto, item number 14. Honorable Amir Suleiman Goro is not on the floor. I also move that the second reading of this bill be stepped down by the leader of the House. I so move.
Second reading of the bill, 13 and 14 on the other paper stepped down by the leader of the House. Look at Amir Suleiman here. We have already no capacity.
Hold them now. Please.
Go back and reverse.
Maintain silence, please. Take your seat. Goro is around now. He has 6 judges. They are all around. Sergius, take your seat, please. Abbas, take your seat. Comrade Goro. Aminu Goro, hello, take your seat, please. Maintain silence. Abbas, take your seat, please.
Colleagues, thank you. Can we give our attention to the chairman house rules, please?
Honorable Kaoje, take your seat, please.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I am Abubakar Hassan Fulata. I represent Berniwa Krika Samaguri Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Jigawa State. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I move that the House do rescind its earlier decision on items number 13 and 14 on the order paper to allow our colleagues move their motions. However, this should be kindly be advised that next time when you have an item on the order paper,
yes,
please make sure that you are right on time. Thank you. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Yes. Well, colleagues, please, let's have our attention, please. I want to beg that our business first is in these chambers. When he was advising that this should be the last, and I want to concur with him that it should be the last. We are taking our bills is because our members were not around that we have to step down. And as we step down, they were stepping in. It is only out of consideration and then the spirit of working together that we now have to rescind our rule. It doesn't make us look good in the face of the world. And I want to beg that we should desist from doing that. Secondary to the motion. Yes. Jega.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, my honorable colleagues. I am Mohammed Umar Jega, representing Aleru Gondu Jega Federal Constituency. I rise to second the motion, heavily moved by the Chairman Russo and Business for item 15 and 16. I so second.
13 and 14. 13.
Colleagues, those in favor of the motion say aye. Against say nay. The ayes have it. The 13th order of the day is commencement of debate on general principle of bill for an act to amend the Child Rights Act, Cap C50, Laws of Federation of Nigeria 2004, to impose sanction on any parent who abandoned a newborn child and abscond after birth and following matters, standing in the name of Honorable Sergius Ose Ogun. All members will record the bill was read the first time on Wednesday, 14 July 2021, and now invite Honorable Ogun to move that the bill be read the second time.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm a highly esteemed colleagues. I'm Sergius Ose Ogun. I represent Eastern Northeast, Eastern Southeast, and I'm from Edo State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to move that a bill for an act to amend the Child Rights Act, Cap C-50 laws of the Federation of Nigeria.
Order, please. Order, please.
To impose sanction on any parent who
Honorable
abandons a
Manir,
child
take your seat, please.
and absconds after
No
birth
lame.
and for related matters. Be read for a second time. Mr. Speaker, I so move.
Secondary to the comrade.
Respected Speaker, I am Johnson Agwahide Oguma. I represent all the people of Etako Federal Constituency. I am from Edo State. I rise to support this very, very important bill. I rise supporting and seconding is the same thing. I rise to second this very important bill. So, Mr. Speaker, I so second.
Honorable Unole, you came late and you are distracting the sitting. Chairman Aviation, please. Deputy Chairman Poverty Alleviation. Deputy Chairman Poverty Alleviation, Deputy Chairman Public Account. Please, let's have decorum. Please. Deputy Chairman Works.
Colleagues, Honorable Sergius, lead the debate.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Jaha, come on, approach the acting chief whip. Honorable Jaha.
For giving me the opportunity to lead this debate. Principally, this is just a little amendment to the Child Rights Act. The principal objective of this bill is to amend the Child Rights Act so as to specifically make provision against the abandonment of children by their parents, especially after the time and place of birth, of their birth. This bill is therefore seeks to specifically make provision within the Child Rights Act against the practice of child abandonment by parents by introducing a new subsection 3 into the extant section 14 of the Act. And the provision goes as section 3. Sorry, the new subsection we're asking for is subject to the provisions of this Act. No child shall be abandoned at the time of place of birth, the conditions of his birth notwithstanding. Then sub A, where a parent abandons a child at the time or place of his birth, he shall be guilty of an offense and upon conviction be liable to fine of 200,000 naira or imprisonment for 6 months or to both such time and imprisonment. Mr. Speaker, just avoid wasting anybody's time. That's the long and short of this. I appeal to everyone to support this amendment to enable it to skate through second reading.
The chairman of Ad hoc Committee, INEC, please applaud the acting chief whip. Chairman Ad hoc Committee, INEC, please allow the speaker.
Yes, Honorable Sir.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, distinguished honorable colleagues. I remain Honorable Osai Nicholas Osai, and I represent the good people of Ndoko Okwani Federal Constituency of Delta State. And by the grace of this honorable House, at least for today, I am acting as the minority leader.
Let's have one house, please. Honorable Infai, Mom.
To that extent, Mr. Speaker, distinguished honorable colleagues, I rise to support the motion on the amendment. And in further addition, probably when this amendment goes to the committee, Mr. Speaker, It is a duty of parents who have brought children to the war to cater for that war, that child. But at the same time, government have a duty to also complement the duty of parents. That's why every person have obligations and have also what they contribute to society. Today, we are saying that up to 43 to 50% are unemployed. Imagine a father who has brought out a child to the war and has no work for the past 8 years. And what is the duty of that government? To attend to that father and the child. So those of them that are institution of this National Assembly by act of National Assembly and are heading such institutions are also to complement such parents. And I believe in addressing this legislation and attending to it in the public hearing, this should be part and parcel of what is obtainable globally. Today, why do we have social security in America? We have social security because whereby you are not working and you have a child to take care of, social security are there to cure. Mr. Speaker, distinguished honorable colleagues, it is in that principle that majority of our northern states are here to domesticate this law. This law must have a human face. And if this law have a human face, there's no way majority of the parliament of the states in the northern region will not adopt it. They will, and strongly adopt it. Mr. Speaker, distinguished honorable colleagues, this is my silent voice from the wilderness as I communicate this submission to this night assembly. Mr. Speaker, distinguished honorable colleagues, I remain Honorable Osai, and I rest my case.
Colleagues, I believe this is a very straightforward bill, even though Honorable Osai is trying to deviate us from the main focus of the bill. What the bill seeks to, and its explanation from the bill of what I understand, is newborn babies that people abandon on the streets. And so it's seeking for punishment. And I think that is the whole essence of the bill. So I now put the question. Those in favor of the bill be read the second time, say aye. Against, say nay. The ayes have it. Clerks is invited to read the long title of the bill.
Right Honorable Speaker, honorable members, a bill for an act to amend the Child Rights Act Cap C50, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria, 2004, to improve sanction on any parent, to impose sanction on any parent who abandons a newborn child and absconds after birth and for related matters.
Please, Chairman, House Committee on Works, please, stop roaming about, please. Honorable Bada Agundi, Honorable Baba, please go back to your seat and let's have decorum, please.
Respected colleagues, bill referred to Committee on Women Affairs. The fourth order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principle of a bill for an act to amend the Federal Polytechnic Act, Cap F17 Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, to accommodate the newly established Federal Polytechnic and following matters standing in the name of Aminu Suleiman. Honorable members will recall the bill was read the first time on Tuesday, 29 November 2022. I now invite Honorable Suleiman to move that the bill be read the second time.
I'm the Omere Ohawan of Indiebo Kano, for the guidance of the House.
Can you take the name again?
Omere Ohawan, not two, not three.
No, maybe.
And I had Osai asking, because he's an Igbo man from Abakaleke, he doesn't know the meaning. Omere Ohawan means somebody who caters for everybody.
Thank you.
Female, young, and the old. and my name is High Chief Amin Suleiman. I represent Page Federal Constituency. I move, Honorable Speaker, sir, that the House do consider the bill for an act to amend the Federal Polytechnic Act, F-17, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria, 2004, and to accommodate the newly established Federal Polytechnic and for related matters, HB 2118. I move, Honorable Speaker, sir.
Seconder. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My highly respected colleague, Barao Ahmed Yusuf is my name. Member representing Shano Ogwe's Federal Constituency. I'm from Kano State, Mr. Speaker. I stand to second the motion heavily raised by my honorable colleague, my senior colleague. I so second. Thank you very much.
Comrade, you want to lead the debate? Your title is very difficult for me to pronounce. You have to give me a lecture, maybe a full day. Thank you, sir. No, it has been seconded, so you lead the debate if you want to. Otherwise, we'll put the question.
Honorable Speaker, sir, this is a very straightforward bill. The intention is to seek the consent and approval of the House to give effect to the law setting up these polytechnics, which was assented to by Mr. President since 2019, and by default, there were no precedents of law guiding the establishment. If the House approved this, it will finally give legal backing to the existence and the operations of the new polytechnics, namely Federal Polytechnic Daura, Federal Polytechnic Kaltungu, Federal Polytechnic Ujeb, Cross River, Federal Polytechnic Ohodo, Inugu, Federal Polytechnic Unene, Benue, Federal Polytechnic Shandam Plateau, Federal Polytechnic Ayade, Oyo State, Federal Polytechnic Mungunu, Borno State. The bill also seeks to make some amendment to sections 3, 4, 5, 6, and 9 of the Federal Polytechnic to give additional powers to the management and councils of these institutions to minimize ministerial involvement in some of the operations of the Polytechnic. When the House approved, I'm sure the bill will benefit from wide consultations and input from members of the public. I so move, Honorable Speaker, sir.
We need to be guided on issues, items of those amendments to give extra power to councils. What are those powers that the council tend to get because of the involvement of the minister? We need to know those particular issues. If there are 4 items, if there are 3 items, that this honorable chamber, the Green Chamber, wants to add value to the council to have a strong autonomy within the polytechnic sectors. It is incumbent on the chairman of that committee to be able to give and enlighten this House on those key ingredients, because some of us are also being a council members. Are they going to violate the laws? Are you giving
Honorable Ibrahim Hamza, Chairman Information.
Are you giving extra power?
Please, Chairman Information, please go back to your seat.
Are you giving extra power to a council that does not need it? If it's a policy direction, what's the functions of a minister? To direct a particular sector, driving policy. If it's an issue that is within the domain of the council, it becomes within the domain of the council. So I will call on the proposer of this bill to give more light on those key issues. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Well, except we want to establish another regulation or rule for us, but when they are discussing the general principle or debating, you are expected to discuss the principle. And in the principle, it has been gazetted. It is now incumbent on you to go through, to study, and we are not yet into the report consideration. They have not yet gone for public hearing. Later, don't come back for consideration. So what they are seeking to do, first they have informed us, which you are aware, over a year or two, about a year past, institutions were established which do not have the face of the law. And allowing them to exist without the act is something leading us to something that is not say, legally right. Two, they cannot have the appropriation, and we are in the period of operation. I think the general principle is clear that we need all education. At least we have discussed bills here. The one that we just passed, I don't know how many of these they have gone into nitty-gritty. And I refer you to the last bill you contributed. Because you didn't even study the bill well, you are discussing a different direction until I now guided you. So I want to beg of you that this is the general principle. And in the light of that, I now put the question. Those in favor that the bill be read a second time, say aye. Against, say nay. The ayes have it. Clerks invited to the long title of the bill.
Right, Honorable Speaker, honorable members. A bill for an act to amend the Federal Polytechnics Act, Cap F-17, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria, 2004, to accommodate the newly established Federal Polytechnics and for related matters, second reading.
Bill referred to Committee on Tertiary Education. Respected colleagues, the 15th order of the day is a motion on the consideration of our standing bill from the preceding assembly, standing in the name of Honorable Abubakar Hassan Flata. Honorable Flata is invited to move the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, I am Abubakar Hassan Flata. I represent Buniwa Krika Maguni Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I am from Jigawa State. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, reconsideration of outstanding bill from the preceding assembly. Nigerian Institute of Leather and Science Technology Bill.
Please, honorable colleagues, let's have decorum.
House
Honorable
Bill
Ben.
444.
Please, Honorable Ken.
House Notes.
Honorable Ken, you are just coming in and you are distracting the sitting. Please. Please.
House notes that pursuant to Order 12, Rule 16 of the Standing Orders of the House of Representatives, bills passed by the preceding assembly and forwarded to the Senate for concurrence, for which no concurrence was made, or negatived, or passed by the Senate and forwarded to the House, for which no concurrence was made, or negatived, or which were passed by the National Assembly and forwarded to the President for assent, but for which assent or withholding thereof was not communicated before the end of the tenure of the Assembly. The House may resolve that such bill, upon being regazetted or clean copy circulated, be reconsidered in the Committee of the Whole without being commenced de novo. Also note that the aforementioned bill was passed by the preceding Assembly and forwarded to the President for assent, but for which assent or withholding thereof was not communicated before the end of the tenure of the last Assembly. Aware that the bill was regazetted as House Bill 444 and was read the first time, House resolves to commit the bill to the Committee of the Whole for consideration. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Whip.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. I am Kiru Kaunye George. I represent the good people of Isukwatu Mulu Federal Constituency. I am from Abia State. I rise to second the motion as heavily moved by Chairman Rules and Business. I so second.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Against, say nay. The ayes have it. The 6th order of the day is a motion. 16th order of the day is a motion on committal of bills standing in the name of Honorable Abubakar Hassan Fulata. Honorable Fulata is invited to move the motion.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I am Abubakar Hassan Fulata. I represent Birniwa Krika Samaguri Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Jigawa State. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, Specialized National Dermatologist Hospital Bill 2022, National Commission for Colleges of Education Bill 2022. House notes that Specialized National Dermatology Hospital Bill 2022 was passed by the National Assembly and transmitted to the President for assent, but was not assented to with observations. Also note that National Commission for Colleges of Education Bill 2022 was passed and forwarded to the Directorate of Legal Services for further legislative action. Aware that the observations raised by the Presidency and the Director of Legal Services of the National Assembly require further legislative action by the House of Representatives. Appreciate the need to commit the bills for reconsideration to address the observations thereof.
Please go back to your seat.
House resolved to send its decision
Honorable Zakaria.
And commit same to the Committee of the Whole.
Honorable Zakaria
Consideration.
from Adamawa State, please go back to your seat.
Honorable Tayo.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, respected colleagues. Honorable Taiwo Oluga is my name. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Osun State and I speak on behalf of all the people of Irewole Ayedade Ishokan Federal Constituency. I rise this afternoon to second the motion as moved by Chairman Rules and Business. Mr. Speaker, I so second.
Those in support of the motion say aye. Against say nay. The ayes have it. The 17th order of the day is a motion on need to continue the East-West Rail Line project standing in the name of Honorable Dozie Ferdinand Nwako. Honorable Nwako is invited to move the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and my honorable colleagues. I am Honorable Ferdinand Dozie Nwako, member representing Njikoka and Ocha, Dunukofia Federal Constituency, and from Anambra State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to move a motion on need to continue the East-West Line Rail Line project. But before I go, Mr. Speaker, I noticed that my names were spelled incorrectly. For the record purposes, my names are Honorable Dozie Ferdinand Nwankwo, and not as is written here. The House notes that the Federal Executive Council had, in April 2017, granted approval for the construction of 1,400 kilometer standard gauge East-West Coastal Rail Line project linking Lagos, Ore, Benin, Sapele, Warri, Enagua, Port Harcourt, Aba, Uyo, Calabar, Akaba, Igom, with a branch line from Benin to Asaba, Onitsha, Port Harcourt, One, Deep Seaports. Also note that the outing of the Exim Bank of China, the contractor to execute the project, the federal government in March 2021 made arrangements for $11 billion alternate.
Honorable colleagues, please, can you listen in silence, please?
With Standard Chartered Bank out of the $14 billion required to execute the project. The House is aware that in August 2021, the Federal Executive Council approved the award of a contract valued at $11 billion.
Honorable Sergius.
$174,769,000 for the project. The House is also aware of the importance of the rail line project to the socio-economic development of the country, which necessitated the accelerated completion of the project. The House is disturbed that the project was stopped by the Federal Ministry of Transportation in 2022, despite the concluded arrangement with Standard Chartered Bank and the federal government 30 billion naira commitment to the contractor. The House is worried that the non-completion of the rail project, which aggravated the problem of travelers who suffer delays due to the deplorable state of the road, coupled with checkpoints along Calabar-Lagos Road. Considering that the inability to complete the project within the projected 6 years period will continue to put pressure on the two seaports located in Port Harcourt and Lagos and the existing routes. The House resolved to urge the federal government to reverse its earlier decision on the project by continuing its implementation, considering the economic importance of the rail project to the nation. Also urge the federal government to review its 25-year railway strategic plan, part of which is unbundled and commercialized the Nigerian Railway Corporation. It has mandates the Committee on Land Transportation to liaise with Federal Ministry of Transportation and other relevant government agencies to ensure that the East-West Coastal Rail Project is captured in the 2023 budget estimates. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Behind Idris, my brother there. Kabo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My distinguished colleagues, my name is Honorable Musa Umar Galu. I represent Gorza Kabo Federal Constituency. I'm from Kano State. I rise to second the motion ably moved by my honorable colleagues. I so second.
You want to lead the debate?
No, sir, I just wanted, okay, if he wants to lead the debate, he can.
You want to debate or we put the question? It's an infrastructure motion. And by our rules, we don't discuss or debate infrastructure motion.
Honorable Sajos.
It's in our rules. We don't debate infrastructure motion.
Mr. Speaker,
no, you can't change
Honorable
the rule. No, when I refer you to our House standing order. We don't debate infrastructure motion. Yes, only if you have amendment. And it's supposed to come on notice. Yes. It's supposed to come on notice. Those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Against say nay. That's it.
Mr. Osai, you always wait
you
and
want
take
to ambush your
instruction from
brother.
the speaker before you stand up. You always wait and take instruction from the speaker before you stand up, please.
Respected colleagues, the 18th order of the day is consideration of report of the Committee on Telecommunications on the total sum of 559,870,711,000 naira, only for which the sum of 86,752,963,000 naira only is for recurrent expenditure, while the sum of 5,224,501,000 naira only is for capital expenditure. The sum of 35,889,649,000 naira only is for special project, while the sum of 16 billion naira only is for transfer to the Universal Service Provision Fund, USPF. 416 billion 13 million 598,000 naira only, which will be transferred to the federal government of Nigeria, and the sum of 16 billion naira only is for budget of the Universal Service Provision Fund for the period of ending December 31st December 2023. All members will recall that the report was laid on Wednesday, 30th November. Honorable Adeyemi Akim Adeni will move for his consideration.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Honorable Akim Adeniyi Adeyemi, representing the good people of Afigio, Atiba, Oyo East, Oyo West, and from Oyo State, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to move that the House do receive report on issuance from the Statutory Revenue Fund of the Nigerian Communication Commission. Is that sum of 559,080,711,000 naira only, of which the sum of 86,752,963,000 naira only is for the recorded expenditure, while the sum of 5,224,000,000.
Honorable colleagues, please, can we listen in silence, please? Honorable colleagues, please, can we listen? Please.
Mr. Speaker, the sum of 5,224,501,000 naira only is for the capital expenditure. Mr. Speaker, sir, the sum of 35,089,649,000 naira is for the special project, while the sum of 16 billion naira only is for the transfer to the Universal Service Provision Fund, USPF.
Honorable Halims, concentrate. Honorable Halims.
416 billion 30,598,000 naira only will be transferred to the federal government of Nigeria, and the sum of 16 billion naira only is for the budget of the USPF for the period that will be ending 31st December 2023. I so move, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Comrade Oga.
Honorable Doze, please approach the acting chief whip for permission.
Thank you,
Honorable
Mr.
Doze,
Speaker.
please.
Honorable colleagues, Comrade Chinedu Oga Owen, I represent the Ikwezasa Federal Constituency. I'm from Ebonyi State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the motion. Able moved by my honorable colleagues, the chairman of the committee, are hereby second.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Against say nay. That's it. Colleagues, we have other constitutional report, so I will beg that we suspend our rule instead of dissolving the committee of supply to take along the other bills for consideration and report before dissolving into committee of supply and committee of the whole. So help us to suspend our rules to take the remaining reports for consideration before dissolving into committee of supply and committee of the whole. I'm talking to the chairman, rules and business. Yes, sir.
I didn't get you, sir.
Suspend our rules.
That we suspend our rules instead of going into committee. By what we have done, we are supposed to automatically dissolve into committee of supply.
Yeah.
But we have other reports, and the speaker is not here, let alone for me to traverse the two period. Instead of doing that, I'm asking that we suspend our rule to allow us continue the remaining part so that we dissolve at the end of the day, we just dissolve into committee of supply and committee of the whole.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, I am Abubakar Samfulata. I represent Birniwa, Krika Sama, with the Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Jigawa State. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I move that we do suspend our extant rules to enable DS preside over the Committee of Supply.
That is not what I'm asking for. Automatically, when you go through your standing order, the function of the deputy speaker, provided the speaker is for him to carry out the speaker's function. I'm asking that we suspend our rule to enable us to take alongside the report of the committee of supply and alongside committee of the whole in one sitting. That's all. Colleagues, I'm begging you from Settlement Clerk, Sergeant Adams, yeah, among those who are distracting the house. What he came here to say is that he didn't even hear what I was telling him because of the noise going on. I want to beg that it's not in our own interest, and we are protecting ourselves to the outside world. Do not forget, whatever we are doing here is on live streaming. And it will not be in our own interest, always members of the respected Hello Chamber of this nature in a noise-making session. I think that's not right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, I am Abubakar Sanfulata. I represent Berniwa, Krika Samaguri Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Jigawa State. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I move that the House do resolve into a joint sitting of the Committee of Whole and Committee of Supply to consider reports. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, sir. Adejare.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I remain Honorable Dr. Samuel Babatunde Adejare. I represent the wonderful, good people of Agege Federal Constituency of Lagos State. Sir, I rise to second the motion as moved by my dear brother and friend, Honorable Fulata. Thank you. I so second.
Respected colleagues, those in favor of the motion say aye. Against say nay. That's have it. The 19th order of the day is constitution of bill for an act to establish the Nigerian Peace Corps to facilitate peace, volunteerism, community service, neighborhood watch, and nation building and political matters. Honourable members will recall that the bill was committed to the Committee of the Whole on Wednesday, 24th July 2019. The leader will move for its consideration. Whip, acting whip. 19th order of the day.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I am Kiruka Onyejocha. I represent the good people of Isukwatu Federal Constituency. I am from Abia State. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, may I move that a bill for an act to establish Nigerian Peace Corps to facilitate peace, volunteerism, HB 17 be considered on the Committee of the Whole. I so move.
Yes, Ja.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. Ameja Hababa is my name. I represent Chibok, Dambua, and Goza Federal Constituency. I rise to second a motion ably moved by my senior colleague. I so second. Thank you.
Respected colleagues, those in favor of the motion say aye. Against say nay. That's have it. The 20th order of the day is constitution of bill for an act to establish the Nigerian Institute of Leather and Science Technology to provide global, competitive, and environmentally friendly technologies for leather products, allied industries, and for leather matters.
Honorable Halims
was committed to Committee of the Whole on
Honorable Halims, approach the acting tribune. Honorable Halims,
2022.
Please.
The leader will move for its consideration.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I remain Kiruka Onyejocha, member representing Isukwatu Munej, Federal Constituency.
Honorable Halims.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, may I move that the House do consider a bill for an act to establish Nigerian Institute of Leather and Science Technology to provide global, competitive, and environmental friendly technologies for leather products, allied industry, and for related matters, HB 444. I so move.
Noli.
Honorable Abbas. Honorable Abbas.
Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Abbas.
Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, my name is Sinolin Najir.
There is need for you to go and read your standing order, please.
Enugu State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the bill
for an act to establish Nigerian Institute of Leather and Science Technology, heavily moved by my leader, Mr. Speaker. I so second. Thank you.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Against say nay. That's have it. Okay. The 21st order of the day is constitution of bill for an act to repeal the National Commission for Refugees Act Cap N21 Laws of Federation of Nigeria 2004 and enact the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons Act for the management, rehabilitation, return, the integration, and the settlement of refugees, migrants, and victims of displacement and foreign matters. Honourable members recall that the bill was committed to Committee of the Whole on Thursday, 23rd September 2021. The leader will move for its consideration.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I remain Kiruka Onyejocha, member representing Isukwatu Munoji, Federal Constituency, and from Abia State. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I move that the House do consider the report on a bill for an act to repeal the National Commission for Refugees Act Cap N21 Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004 and enact the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants, and Internally Displaced Persons Act for the management, rehabilitation, return, and reintegration and resettlement of refugees, migrants, and victims of displacement, and for related matters, HB 171. I so move.
It is.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My honorable colleagues, I'm Honorable Kabir Idris, member representing Kura, Madobi, Garumal, and Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I'm from Kano State, and I rise to support this very important bill, heavily moved by the Leader of the House. I so support, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Against say nay. That's have it. We move that we resolve the House into Committee of the Whole and Committee of Supply to consider reports.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, Kiruka Onyejocha is my name. I represent the good people of Isukwatu Munoji Federal Constituency. I'm from Abia State. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, may I move that the House do resolve into the Committee of the Whole, into the Committee of Supply and Committee of the Whole. I so move.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, Ameja Hababa is my name. I rise to second a motion ably moved by the Leader of the House for the House to empathize to the Committee of Supply and Whole to consider reports. I so second. Thank you.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Against say nay. That's have it. House is hereby resolved into Committee of the Whole and Supply of the Supply and the Committee of the Whole. Respected colleagues, the report to be considered is that of Committee on Telecommunication on the total sum of 559,080,711,000 naira only, of which the sum of 86,752,963,000 naira only is for the current expenditure, and while the sum of 5,224,501,000 naira only is for capital expenditure. The sum of 35,089,649,000 naira only is for special project, while the sum of 16 billion naira only is for transfer to the Universal Service Provision Fund. 16 billion 13,598,000 naira only will be transferred to the federal government of Nigeria, and the sum of 16 billion naira only is for the budget of the Universal Service Provision Fund for the period ending 31st December 2023. I now invite Honorable Ademi Akim Adeni to give the synopsis of the report.
Come and use this.
Honorable Osai, please be guided.
What's wrong with you now? I think you should respect the elders here. You should respect the elders.
Mr. Chairman, I'm Honorable Akim Adini Adeyemi, representing the people of Afijo Atiba, your east or your west. And Afijo, I'm from your state, Mr. Chairman, sir. Mr. Chairman, I want the House to consider report on issuance from the statutory revenue fund of the Nigerian Communication Commission. The total sum of 559,080,711,000 naira only, of which the sum of 86,752,963,000 naira only is for the recurrent expenditure, Mr. Chairman. The sum of 5,224,501,000 naira is for the capital expenditure, Mr. Chairman, sir. 35,089,649,000 naira is for special project, Mr. Chairman, while the sum of 16 billion is for to be transferred to the Universal Service Provision Fund, USPF. Mr. Chairman, 416,013,598,000 naira only will be transferred to the federal government of Nigeria, and the sum of 16 billion is for the budget of USPF for the period ending 31st December in the year 2023, Mr. Chairman. I so submit, sir.
This is the report on the other paper. It's in two parts. Part 1 is clauses A and B. Part 2, which is this one, is clauses A, B, C, D. That's all. Part 1 A and B. Part 2 A, B, C, D.
Well, colleagues, Part A, revenue profile. Should we go to the summary? 510,648,492 naira. Got it? Cost of collection spectrum 48,432,219 naira. Got it? Total funds available 559,080,711 naira. Got it? Expenditure summary. Shall I go to that? 86,752,919 752 naira, 963 naira. Carried. Capital expenditure, that was for the current. 5,224,501 naira. Carried. Special projects. The units. Well, what is written here is 16 million. So if you are writing 86 billion, that's not the way to write 16 billion. Okay, sorry. So above is in billion. Got it? Thank you. But I want to guide that, please, let's do the writing by bringing out everything. We are talking about expenditure, and so it should be written in the manner. Thank you. Special projects. Five, 16 billion, carried? Thank you. 500 and total expenditure is now 559 billion, 80,711 naira, carried? 711,000, sorry. Part 2. Chairman, is your bill we are doing and you are the same person that is distracting the House? No, of course. Because we are just carrying. Total revenue 16 billion carried. Total recurrent expenditure 2,454,253,724 naira carried. Capital expenditure 124,800,000,000 naira carried. No, 124,800,000 carried. These are the consequences of inconsistency in writing. Then, total capital expenditure, project expenditure, 16 billion naira carried. Thank you. The total sum of total universal provision sum, 16 billion carried. Thank you. No, sir. What I have is 16 billion. Total budget expenditure is 16 billion. Total project expenditure is 13 billion. I didn't call that one. I went straight to the summary. Thank you. Grateful. That one is 13,420,946,276 naira. Thank you. I don't have 20. Colleagues, the first bill to be considered is for an act to establish the Nigerian Peace Corps to facilitate peace, volunteerism, community service, neighborhood watch, and nation building and for related matters. I now invite the leader to give the synopsis of the bill. Colleagues, I want to believe that this bill has overstayed here, and so we do not need to waste much time. And the increase in the insecurity in the country requires every hand and every measure that will be given to add value to what we have to ensure that our country is stabilized. I want to... Yes, sir. Comments? It's not debate. Today is consideration, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, under normal circumstances, we will give the opportunity for the sponsor or promoter. In this case, this is a bill coming for concurrence. Senate have already done it. They have done the public hearing. That's why it didn't go to second public hearing. Two, the leader will have been the person to give the synopsis of the bill, but it's away on other engagement. And I believe this bill has been stepped down many attempts, severally. Our quest is to ensure peace, stability as a primary function of our government. It's important. What I would request is that we allow the consideration commence. The closer that you have issues, which is the normal practice, you now raise your amendment. That is what it's supposed to be. Not to arrest, except you want to arrest the consideration at this stage, which is not fair.
Further explanation, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. No, further explanation.
Apart from the fact that the bill is a Senate bill, security agencies, but it was later discovered that their fears was unfounded. And therefore, the bill was reintroduced again in this assembly, and then it went through the mill again, passed at third reading in the Senate, and then sent to us for concurrence. So there is nothing untoward against about
Put it to vote, please.
Ulabek and Abiante, the procedure of the House, bill return will come with observations. And the observations must have been addressed. Otherwise, even if you take it back, it will return. And I think we will do justice to this country if we allow. No, it's not about input. If you have, when you get to the clause that you have issue, that's the procedure. Subhanallah. He has the floor. Well, let me. Well, thank you, sir. On the issue of volunteerism attracting allowance, I think it's normal. When you have your people who work for you assiduously, even as they help you campaign, you give them appreciation. Are you paying them salary? You're appreciating them. That's why it's called allowances. No, that's what I'm saying. Be patient. When we get to the clause that now talks about pension, you now look at it. And I said at this stage, and that's the normal procedure of our own parliamentary work and procedure, you do the constitution clause by clause. You don't arrest a bill, no matter how strong you feel bad about it. But if it's constitution, committee of the whole, you have left that stage. It was at the stage of public hearing that you will have said that. Say, bring out all the addresses and issues. And when it comes to colors, you now get the House convinced to look at the areas. In any case, our quest is for the best service. This proliferation of these other service agencies is not too much for the country. State police is a constitutional amendment. This one you can achieve through this. And the state constitutional amendment is still in the process. So I want to beg that let's look at the bigger picture of our country, most important, and step down other issues that will further exacerbate the negative or the insecurity in the country. Thank you, sir. Flatter, take note, because what he said is true. If you are talking about allowances, issue of pension should not be there until if the federal government feels strong about them to say, okay, we can now make them an institution, that's when pension will now be drawn. Thank you. So clause 1, 2, clause 2, clause 3, clause 4, clause 5, clause 6, clause 7, clause 8, 9. Who say no? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Brother, the language of allowance is very clear. You are paid allowance here. Do you draw pension? Thank you. Thank you. 10. $11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, plus 33, plus 34, plus 35, plus 36, plus 37, plus 38, plus 39, plus 40, 41, 42, schedules. Long title. Thank you, Abente, for your cooperation. The next bill to be considered is for an act to establish the Nigerian Institute for Leather and Science Technology to provide global, competitive, and environmental friendly technologies for leather products and allied industries and related matters. Of course, the leader of the House is not also here. This is another bill that could impact on our economy, reduce unemployment, because they are supposed to have institutions established that will give you the technology of how to process waste, and you know how harmful leather is to our environment. And I believe we require this bill for the purpose of improving the economy and giving technology to our younger ones. Thank you. Plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, you will not be the one to comment on this bill here. Thank you, sir. Thank you. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I thought Sununu will be the one to defend this bill. Sununu, I thought you are the one to defend this bill. No, I don't know. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, close 16, close 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, close 22, close 23, 24, close 25, 26, 27, close 28, close 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, close 42, 43, 44, 45 citation, then schedules, explanatory memoranda, and long title of the bill. The next bill to be considered for an act to repeal the National Commission for Refugees ACAP N21 Laws of Federation of Nigeria 2004 and to enact the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants, and Internally Displaced Persons Act for the management, rehabilitation, return, and integration and resettlement of refugees, migrants, and victims of displacement and related matters. This again is a committed bill. It was considered during our session, and then the President raised observation, but the observation have now been cleaned up and returned to us in the Committee of the Whole for consideration. Thank you. Clause 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to 8, 9 to 13, 14 to 17, 18 to 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, schedules, explanatory memoranda, and long title. Leader, move that with back to Plenary to report progress.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, honorable colleagues. Kiru Kaonye Georgia is my name. I represent the good people of Isukwatu Munoj, Federal Constituency. I'm from Abia State. Thus, Chairman, honorable colleagues, may I move that the House do revert to plenary. I so move.
Honorable, okay. I don't know who is the acting deputy leader. You have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. Amejaha Baba is my name. I represent Chibok, Dambua, and Goza Federal Constituency. I rise to second a motion ably moved by the Leader of the House for the House to report progress from the Committee of Supply and Committee of the Whole. I so second. Thank you.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Against say nay. That's have it. House is hereby to divide penalty report progress. Respected colleagues, the House, in the Committee of the Supply, considered the report of the Committee on Telecommunications on the issuance from the Statutory Revenue Fund of the Nigerian Communication Commission, the total sum of 559,507,711,000 naira only, for which the sum of 86,782,963,000 naira only is for recurrent expenditure, while the sum of 5,224,501,000 naira only is for capital expenditure. The sum of 35,089,649,000 naira only is for the special project, while the sum of 16 billion naira only is for transfer to the University Trust Service Provision Fund. 416 billion 13,598,000 naira only will be transferred to the federal government of Nigeria, and the sum of 16 billion only is for the budget of the University Service Provision Fund for the period ending 31st December 2023. Approve clauses 1, clauses A and B, and part 2, clause A, B, C, and D of the report. Respected colleagues, the House in the Committee of the Whole consider the report on a bill for an act to establish the Nigerian Peace Corps to facilitate peace, volunteerism, community service, neighborhood watch, and nation building and following matters. Approve clauses 1 to 42, the schedule, the explanatory memoranda, and the long title of the bill. Respected colleagues, the House and the Committee of the Whole consider the report on a bill for an act to establish a Nigerian Institute of Leather and Science Technology to provide global competitive and environmentally friendly technologies for leather products, allied products, and for related matters. Approve clauses 1 to 45, the schedules, the explanatory memoranda, and the long title of the report. Respected colleagues, the House and the Committee of the Whole consider the report on a bill for an act to repeal the National Commission for Refugees Act (CAP) N21 Laws of Edition of Nigeria 2004 and enact the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants, and Internally Displaced Persons Act for the management, rehabilitation, return, the integration, and resettlement of refugees, migrants, and victims of displacement and frontier matters. Approve clauses 1 to 41, the schedule, the explanatory memoranda, and the long title of the bill. Leader, I move for the adoption of the report.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, Nkiru Kaonye Georgia is my name. I represent the good people of Isukwatu Muno Federal Constituency. I'm from Abia State. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, may I move that this report be adopted? I so move.
Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. Ameja Hababa is my name. I represent Chibok Dambua, Goza Federal Constituency. I rise to second a motion ably moved by the Leader of the House for the reports reported from the Committee of the Whole and Supply be adopted. I so second. Thank you.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Against say nay. The ayes have it. Move for the adjournment of the House to tomorrow 11 a.m.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I am Kiru Kaunye George. I represent the good people of Isukwatu Muno Federal Constituency. I'm from Abia State. I move that this House be adjourned till tomorrow, 7th December, 11 o'clock. I so move.
I thought there's another minority there who is halfway. I know you are working with us. So I don't want to show your hand clearly so that they will not go after you. No. He is with us, and I will tell you many reasons. No, you are not minority. You are with APC. You are with APC. I'm sure, very sure. Yes, sir. No, the governor knows. Yes. I know a lot, and he knows that I know.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I remain Tajuddin Adekunle Obasa, representing Ojo Federal Constituency from Lagos as a PDP member and acting minority whip. I arise to second the motion moved by House Leader to adjourn the sitting till tomorrow. I so second. Thank you.
Thank you. Miriam, can you confirm what I'm saying? Abadinoli. Thank you. Those in favor of the motion say aye. Against say nay. That's it. How's that? Is that by adjourned to tomorrow 11 a.m.?